In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the retail box of Windows 3.11. I actually recorded this video back in 2017, and while going through my archive drive, I realized that I never uploaded it to YouTube. The same thing happened with an unboxing video of MS-DOS 6.22. You can find the link in the description below. Windows 3.11 was released on November 8, 1993. And it was the final revision of the Windows 3 line before Windows 95 was released a couple of years later. First, let's take a quick look at what the Windows 3.11 experience looks like. I recorded this video of Windows 3.11 using real hardware on my workbench, a 486DX266 MHz PC with a Sound Blaster 16 and a Diamond Style 3D 3000 video card. Now, the video signal goes through a RetroTink 4K and from there into a Magewell HDMI capture card. The audio goes through a Roland M-10MX mixer and the optical output is connected to the RetroTink 4K. We will also compare a Roland SC55 Mark II MIDI module with the Yamaha OPL3 of the Sound Blaster 16, but we check that out towards the end of the video. Okay, so enough of the technical side, let's get back to the video. And I have a nostalgic attachment to Windows 3.11 because it came with the first computer we had at home. So seeing the user interface, the programs, and of course the screensavers really brings back a lot of memories. Technically speaking, Windows 3.11 ran on top of MS-DOS, so it wasn't a fully standalone operating system. Okay, let's continue with the unboxing. As you can see, the retail box of Windows 3.11 was really nicely packaged. It included 2 beefy manuals, some additional documentation, and a total of 8 3.5 high-density floppy disks. Now we're going to jump back to Windows, test the OPL3, a MIDI module, and check out the software. Okay, let's open the media player and play the classic Canyon MIDI file that was included with Windows 3.11. And first we'll test it with the OPL of the Sound Blaster 16. Okay, let's open the MIDI mapper in the control panel and switch the MIDI output to the external MIDI port of the Sound Blaster 16. That will route the MIDI signal to the Roland Sound Canvas SC55 Mark II or whatever external MIDI module you have connected to the joystick port on the Sound Blaster 16. It's interesting how you can choose between different sound options when it comes to MIDI. That's something I could only dream of back in the old days. And then there's all kinds of software, like Paintbrush, with some interesting geometric tools. I remember using it a lot for my projects as a student. There's also a clock app that you can switch between digital and analog. Then we have a very basic calculator that you can switch to scientific. A character map that you can use to add symbols to your documents. A terminal emulator. The immortal notepad. There's also a write app, which is a bit more advanced than the notepad. A sound recorder that you can also use to play WAV files. Nice. Then we have the control panel, where you can configure a lot of settings on the system. The sound mapper, where you can configure the playback and recording devices. The MIDI mapper that you can use to assign MIDI channels to a Roland MT32, for example, and then you can save it as a preset. I remember I did this a few years ago with my MT32 and it worked just fine, so I'll have to try it out again sometime. Next we have the mouse settings, the keyboard settings as well. Then we have the desktop settings. And this is basically to configure the screensavers, wallpaper, and that sort of stuff. Next we have the port settings, fonts. You can also configure the colors of the UI. Then we have printers and drivers. And this comes very handy to install all kinds of additional hardware. I remember using this quite a few times. Then we have the sound settings, which is basically to configure the Windows sounds. Then we have the international settings to configure keyboards with different layouts and languages. Another very useful tool is the file manager, which you can use to browse files on your hard drives, floppy disks, and CD-ROMs. Then we have the network settings to configure a network card on your system. And then there are the games. It comes with a few classic ones like Solitaire. I remember I spent a lot of hours playing this game back then. And of course the classic Minesweeper. I got lucky on this one. There's also some third-party software that I installed on this computer like Norton Utilities, WinImage, and a few other games. Okay, so that was just a quick look at the Windows 3.11 experience. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Take care.